Excellent. So, welcome everyone. This is our first session in our webinar series, Driving Business Excellence, Efficiency, and Sustainability Through Last Mile Transportation. My name is Sean Stenson. I'm going to be your guide today for today's conversation, and we've got a lot of exciting content to cover. So, in the interest of staying on track, I kindly ask you to jot down your questions or enter them into the Q&A section as we go. This approach is going to allow us to reserve plenty of time to answer your questions at the end while also ensuring we wrap up in a timely fashion. I'm really thrilled to have you here. I'm looking forward to diving into this critical topic together. So let's get started. So before we dive into today's content, let me just provide a real quick overview of who we are. So Route for Me is a world-class route optimization platform, and we're trusted by more than 40,000 satisfied customers to optimize over 3 billion miles of road. Our platform is 100% cloud-based and fully API capable, offering seamless integration with your existing systems. So to ensure your success, we also provide 24/7, 365 customer support. This gives you the resources you need whenever you need them. Now, let's get into the details of how last mile transportation can transform your operations. This first session is going to focus on the following three topics. So the first one is, why should I even care about last mile transportation? Then we're going to talk a little bit about what is last mile optimization, and then we'll finish up with some examples of how last mile transportation can impact your business and other businesses that we work with. So, okay, let's see if we can properly answer the question, why should I care about last mile transportation? So the last mile represents 41% of total supply chain costs, and this can contribute to up to half of a company's CO2 emissions. This plays a crucial role in customer satisfaction. It's no surprise that the CXOs are increasingly prioritizing the optimization of last mile operations to drive efficiency, sustainability, and improve customer experiences. And this helps support a wide range of strategic business objectives. Now, the C-suite's also very interested in the impact of last mile transportation. So, take for example, CEOs today, they're striving to drive growth. They want to exceed customer expectations by replicating Amazon's unparalleled last mile execution. Now, achieving this level of precision, efficiency, and customer satisfaction may seem daunting to many, but the right tools and strategies can really make it a reality for your business. From a CFO standpoint, these guys are always looking for ways to improve profitability by lowering their costs, increasing efficiency, and maximizing resource utilization. Last mile transportation and planning solutions can turn these goals into measurable outcomes. And then CIOs, they understand the importance of creating simple, secure business processes that integrate seamlessly into existing enterprise technology stacks. This ability can create a unified workflow while safeguarding sensitive data with enterprise-grade encryption and role-based access controls. And then finally, CCOs or chief compliance officers, these guys face increasing pressure to ensure driver safety, meet regulatory compliance, and achieve sustainability goals. Now, this can be done via integration with your telematics provider, which also can provide highlights or insights into driver behavior and other safety metrics. So, optimized routes will also reduce fuel consumption and carbon emissions, aligning with sustainability goals. So, as you can see, the C-suite understands that achieving last mile excellence is more than just a logistical challenge. It's the key to meeting critical business priorities like growth, efficiency, and customer satisfaction. In today's fast-paced world, the last mile is critical. It's the moment of truth for many businesses. A failure in last mile execution can lead to missed deadlines, increased costs, dissatisfied customers, and even damaged brand reputation. So, with customer expectations at an all-time high, delays or inefficiencies in this critical phase can cascade into lost revenue, churn, and a competitive disadvantage. So businesses that fail to prioritize and optimize their last mile operations risk falling behind in a market where Success often hinges on delivering the right product to the right place at the right time every single time. Now, in the modern business landscape, last mile transportation is not just a logistical upgrade, it's a strategic advantage that drives excellence across your organization. So effective last mile operations do more than just complete a delivery, right? They also drive growth, they elevate service excellence, and enhance operational efficiency. They enable you to make precise, repeatable, and reliable decisions that ensure consistency and eliminate inefficiencies that are prevalent when relying on tribal knowledge, right? So, sophisticated last mile operations have specific goals. They take into account factors like delivery windows, vehicle types, and even customer preferences in an effort to maximize business excellence. Ultimately, when you invest in last mile solutions, it isn't just about efficient routes, it's about building a competitive advantage that fuels your long term success. So let's pause for a second and we're going to explore why last mile optimization matters by diving into a real world example. So, Matthews International is the world's largest casket manufacturer, and they face the logistical challenge. They have tens of thousands of caskets that need to be delivered across the United States on a monthly basis from multiple distribution centers. And they recognized they had a critical inefficiency. Their manual route planning efforts were consuming valuable man hours and a lot of fuel, which negatively impacted both their costs and their operational sustainability. So, realizing this need for change, Matthews International investigated some different route planning and optimization solutions. And then by leveraging technology designed to streamline last mile operations, they were aiming to do, reduce wasted time and wasted fuel. They wanted to enhance their delivery accuracy and efficiency. And then they also wanted to strengthen their overall customer satisfaction. So they set a clear and ambitious goal. They wanted to reduce their miles driven and their fuel costs by 4% across the board. However, the results actually exceeded expectations. By adopting last mile optimization, they achieved a 7% reduction in mileage and fuel costs, which significantly outpaced their original target. They saw dramatic improvements in on time delivery metrics, enhancing their customer satisfaction and reliability. And a surprising bonus, their planning time was slashed from hours per day to just a few minutes. And this freed up valuable time for their team to focus on other critical tasks throughout the organization. So this case study illustrates the power of last mile transportation because it's not just about meeting operational goal, it's about surpassing them and then uncovering unexpected efficiencies that transform the way a business operates. Okay, so now let's move into the next section. We're going to gain a better understanding of what is last mile optimization. This is a critical point, and it often gets overlooked. It is not the route, it's the optimization. A true last mile transportation solution doesn't operate in isolation. Instead, it acts as a bridge, right? It seamlessly links upstream and downstream business processes. And this integration creates a ripple effect that can transform the entire fulfillment process. It drives efficiency, consistency, and value from the order intake all the way through to final delivery. When last mile transportation is done right, it aligns every element of the supply chain. For example, if I have a well-built route, then I fully can utilize the capacity of my vehicles to ensure that I can get to the most stops in the least amount of time with the least amount of distance traveled. I also know my driver will arrive at each location in a specific time frame. This allows me to send an alert to the end customer, providing them with that information. And I can even provide my driver with specific set of tasks to be accomplished at each step or each stop. The result, a fulfillment process that is optimized, it provides an enhanced driver experience and an excellent end customer experience. The entire operation is strategically aligned with the business's overall goals. As the number of customers, drivers, vehicles, stops, constraints, and business rules grow, the number of potential routing scenarios can become astronomically complex. To put this in perspective, take a simple Rubik's Cube. With just 6 colors and 9 squares per side, there are over 43 quintillion possible combinations. Now, the mathematics behind last mile route optimization is orders of magnitude more intricate, with millions or even billions of potential routing permutation to consider. It's impossible to achieve an optimal solution by just using tribal knowledge and or spreadsheets. Without sophisticated tools, planning can become very inefficient. It relies on guesswork rather than data-driven decisions. And then poor planning leads to poor execution, which ultimately results in poor business outcomes. This is why modern businesses turn to advanced last mile transportation platforms to tackle these challenges. It helps transform complexity into streamlined, actionable solutions. Now, in today's fast-paced world, the key to achieving operational excellence lies in simplicity. Last mile technology shouldn't add complexity to your business. It should streamline your operations. It should empower your team. It should make life easier for your customers. Last mile transportation is the nucleus of a comprehensive fulfillment process. It interconnects and enhances activities that occur before, during, and after each stop. It should facilitate improvements across the entire fulfillment lifecycle, ensuring that you have greater efficiency, reduce costs, and enhance customer satisfaction. An example of this would be a company that integrates their order management software with their last mile transportation software. Orders should flow seamlessly from one platform to the next. Routes can then be built leveraging information like location of the customer, size of the order, and even delivery time windows. The capacity of vehicles could be considered, as well as which roads the vehicles can actually travel on due to the size or even the contents contained within that vehicle. The end customer can be alerted so that they know when to expect the delivery and can validate the accuracy of the order. And then proof of delivery can be captured and delivered back to the order management system for completion and invoicing. The key takeaway here is the more critical business information that you're able to feed into your last mile transportation platform, the more profound the business impact can be on your company. Now, when it comes to routing, one size does not fit all. Every business sector brings its own unique challenges and needs, and this is shaped by the nature of its operations, the makeup of its fleet, and even the customers that it services. So here are some examples. Take, for instance, furniture delivery. In this world, routes must account for bulky items. They've got a lot of delivery time windows, and of course, customer availability has to be considered. Then you look at maybe utility inspections, right? Efficiency is key here, but also is ensuring that the right technician is assigned based on their skills and their location. And there's also the consideration of fleet composition itself, right? Cargo vans versus, say, commercial trucks, vastly different capacities and potentially route restrictions on where they can travel. So having a transportation solution that is robust enough to consider these different scenarios and more is important if the goal is to enhance your business operations. So, as I mentioned, last mile transportation impacts upstream and downstream business processes beyond just last mile by acting as a central hub for data to flow and decision making. It impacts the entire fulfillment lifecycle. So from an upstream perspective, think order management, inventory allocation, and dispatch. They all benefit from more accurate and efficient route forecasts, reducing delays and potential bottlenecks. In the last mile, real-time route adjustments and can ensure delivery accuracy as well as customer satisfaction while simultaneously reducing fuel costs and driver fatigue even. And then on the downstream side, you have billing, compliance, and performance analytics that all can be leveraged to optimize route data for faster invoicing, improve reporting, and actionable insights into operational efficiencies. So by seamlessly integrating with these processes, last mile transportation multiplies your ROI and then enhances the overall business performance. So let's talk a little bit about integrating into order management again. So when you integrate order management systems into your optimization platform, this creates some seamless workflows that enhance efficiency and customer satisfaction. Let's take, for instance, this scenario where a customer calls into the support center wanting to know where their service tech is or where their order is or their delivery, whatever it is, and when they should expect it to arrive. Well, without a last mile transportation solution that is integrated with order management, providing this basic information can involve placing the customer on hold, making a phone call or several to find a supervisor who then potentially has to call the driver to find out where they are in their day. Now, the driver may not be available. They could be, driving and not answering their phone. They could be performing a task for another customer and is just not able to stop. All of this creates this longer delay for that customer who may or may not still be on hold, right? That's a bad scenario. The flip side is having the ability to either send a notification ahead of time that allows the customer to check on the estimated time of arrival whenever they want, or potentially providing the support team with the ability to easily look up the order and details around the ETA for that customer and provide it to them right then and there on the phone. So both of those are better scenarios than the previous one. And then there's the opportunity to understand like time windows and incorporating them into the optimization process. This enables your business to automatically plan around availability for the end customer. For instance, if a route normally starts at say 7 o'clock in the morning, but the first stop is only 30 minutes away and the customer doesn't actually open for business until 8 a.m. The last mile optimization solution should be able to automatically change the route start time to 7:30 so that the driver arrives when the customer's open and doesn't arrive 30 minutes early and sits unproductive in the parking lot, right? So seamless integration with all your back-end systems like order management drives operational efficiency, it can cut costs, and it also allows you to deliver that superior customer experience. So, and now it is easy to think that optimization is that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? However, it's a journey, it is not a destination. Optimization is a continuous process of improvement that evolves with your business. Initially, you have a strategy you want to implement. As you plan routes using the strategy, you will see efficiency improvements in both the planning and the execution of the strategy. By looking at actual versus planned metrics, you can identify areas of improvement and make adjustments to your strategy. This leads to new metrics that can be considered as you improve and enhance your strategy. And then you can potentially leverage this information to improve your ability to move into new territories or to create more profitable project bids that also meet the budget requirements of your end customers. So, approaching optimization as a journey ensures that your business is able to stay agile, competitive, and aligned with your long-term goals. Okay, so let's jump in the last section. We're going to take a look at a few examples of how last mile transportation has impacted actual customers. We're going to start off with the University of Rochester. So prior to COVID, the University of Rochester had a small internal mail delivery system that handled about 30 deliveries per day with 5 vehicles. During COVID, the head of this department just happened to stop into one of the pharmacies that are associated with the university, and the pharmacist asked him if his group could help deliver some medications to patients as the patients were not able to come in to pick them up due to some of the restrictions in place at the time. So he says he could help, and then boom, the lid popped off the can. The next thing he knew, he was overwhelmed with delivery requests. So he reached out to his telematics reseller and asked if they could help him solve the routing problem that he now had on his hands. So not only did last mile transportation optimization solve his challenge, it enabled him to scale to the point where his department is now averaging 850 deliveries per day. And instead of taking most of the day to plan his routes, it only takes a handful of minutes. The combination of telematics and a last mile transportation solution has completely transformed this small internal mail only department into the Amazon of the University of Rochester. If it needs to be delivered, they can handle it. This next customer came to us needing some significant help to help move away from their intense manual route planning processes. These guys were using spreadsheets and Google Maps to try to figure out which of the thousands of orders they receive should be delivered by each of the 11 distribution facilities spread across the United States. They then needed to figure out how many orders they could deliver with their own fleet of trucks and which orders needed to be outsourced and delivered by a third-party carrier. After implementing our last mile transportation solution, the fruit guys eliminated their manual planning process and began to automatically generate optimized delivery routes based on customer orders, delivery locations, and time constraints. This removed all the guesswork and the opportunity for human error. Now, this optimization not only freed up valuable employee time, but also ensured more accurate and reliable delivery schedules, which enabled the fruit guys to concentrate on maintaining their high product quality and customer service standards and not spend quite so much time trying to figure out the whole route planning process. Now, looking at a more overarching view, like something in the field services arena, right? Um, Effective field service operations can actually combine the advantages of telematics, route optimization, and mobile solutions to do things like track driver performance, right? This gives you the ability to gain real-time insights into driving habits, time management, adherence to schedules, that can monitor vehicle health by preventing breakdowns, extending fleet lifespan with proactive maintenance alerts, and certainly reducing wear and tear on vehicle by shortening the routes. They can optimize fuel usage, leveraging data to reduce idling, unnecessary stops, overall fuel consumption, but again, by making tighter routes that are more efficient. Improve safety, right? The ability to ensure compliance with safety protocols and reduce those risks through behavior tracking. Integrating your telematics platform with a last mile transportation solution allows, organizations that are in, say, a field services type industry to make data-driven decisions, streamline their operations, and achieve sustainability goals. Now, commercial routing packages are packages that are tailored for commercial trucking and can really revolutionize your operations, ensuring that every delivery is timely, safe, and cost effective. And we routinely see the need for commercial routing packages in industries like, say, construction services and supplies. This is a world where efficient logistics are critical for timely project execution. And then by leveraging safe and efficient routing for commercial trucks, these customers can optimize their delivery routes, which ensure that materials and equipment arrive on time by accounting for weight limits, road restrictions, and even potentially construction zones. They can enhance safety by minimizing the risks that are with routes that are tailored for oversized loads and restricted access areas, and the ability to reduce their costs by saving on fuel and vehicle maintenance with precise route planning and reducing their idle time. And then certainly the opportunity to improve customer service and satisfaction by meeting tight schedules with dependable and accurate delivery times. So a last mile transportation solution that does not take into account the needs of customers with these large commercial vehicles could result in expensive delays or even potentially dangerous accidents. So here's one more. Last mile transportation solutions also offer the ability to analyze planned versus actual last mile performance, right? So this provides critical and crucial insights to refine delivery processes and improve that customer satisfaction we're all striving for. It can benefit delivery operations by identifying gaps, all right, understanding deviations between planned routes and actual performance to address some of these inefficiencies. It can improve accuracy by fine-tuning delivery schedules and route planning to align with real-world conditions. There's opportunity to boost productivity, right, by maximizing driver and vehicle utilization with actionable performance data. And then the big one, the enhancing the customer experience, right? The ability to deliver on time every time by leveraging these insights to prevent delays. So at the end of the day, data-driven analysis is the key to elevating that last mile delivery performance. So, okay, we're about done. But before we get into the Q&A portion of this webinar, you should be aware that this presentation was derived from our ebook, The Definitive Guide to Last Mile Optimization. And what we cover today is essentially the first half of this book. And you guys can get it there with the QR code. You can download that for your own reading time. Please mark your calendars though now for the second half of this webinar series, where my counterpart Jason Johnson is going to walk you through the ultimate guide to transportation technology. Right, we're going to deal with more with technology stacks and the different pieces there. This webinar is scheduled for 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, March 24th. So please stay tuned for opportunities to register for this informative session that will be coming out in the coming weeks. So, okay, that concludes the information I have to share today, and we have plenty of time for some Q&A. So if you have some questions, if you enter them into the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen, if you haven't done so already, and then I'll get to as many as I can, time permitting. Let's see what we got here. Got a couple questions in here. Um, oh, so Tammy, so the QR code looks like it's not working properly. So can you check that, please? We may need to get that out to our to the attendees.
Yes, I'll send the QR code in the follow-up email.
All right, perfect. That'd be fantastic. So so I have here integration to order management system is critical for this to work. What kind of pre-built hooks do you have, or other ways to integrate versus lots of custom code? Great question. So here's the thing: it's kind of interesting. Like I know a lot of folks like to have the proverbial easy button when it comes to doing integrations with different backend systems. Unfortunately, what ends up happening when you do that is one company, you can have three or four different companies that all do the exact same thing. They all maybe compete with each other and they're all using the same order management software, but they're all leveraging it a little differently. And so doing canned pre-built hooks sometimes is a real challenge, because as soon as you do that, then somebody wants something a little different. So I mentioned earlier, we're 100% API capable, and we have a full open API SDK that provides all the examples, pre-built code ready to go, so that you can kind of drop it in and make those connections happen. We've got resources available to help customers with that. Certainly, we also have access to some third-party folks that can do some integration work. We're able to do it internally. There's a lot of different options to get these systems connected, so that we have the ability to pull that information in, dump it into what we call our orders module, and allow that customer to then leverage that information to build their routes. So, um, great question, and it's something that we'll have that conversation with customers. As those situations come up, identify which one, who they're working with, and then figure out the best path to get that to work. Great question.
And I'll just toss in, hey, it's Jason, a couple
Okay,
quick things. So we do actually have some pre-built integrations, if that's what you're asking for. Those exist on platforms like Shopify, and BigCommerce, OS Commerce, WooCommerce, stuff like that, because that's usually pretty standardized in terms of like what's getting connected and what gets moved. And then to add a layer to everything Sean said, we are a REST-based API, and we do have webhook capabilities. So depending on whether you're push pulling or just wanting to listen, it really is actually on the easier side, and we make it very functionally viable to integrate.
Yeah, great point. And one other thing on that too, which you reminded me as you were talking about Shopify and e-commerce and stuff, is we're also in the Zapier platform. So if you have access to Zapier, Zapier is already pre-integrated with a ton of different backend systems, and creating zaps to push pull information around based on if then type situations, super simple. So that's another way that you can leverage integrations to quickly get your data moving around to the place you want it. Awesome. All right. So another question here: can you pull information from our current system and push information back into our system after the routing is done? So yeah, that's a really basically what we are just talking about. So from an API perspective, you can create the calls that send data into our application. Jason mentioned the webhooks, right? So a lot of folks like to use webhooks for as maybe the driver completes a stop, that will automatically yank specific information back into your system. Or you also have the ability to potentially leverage API calls at the end of the day to maybe pull batches back in. So there's a lot of different ways to push information in and pull information out. And we're certainly happy to have that conversation with you, one-on-one to see if we can figure out the best way to support yours. Did you have anything you want to add to that, Jason?
No, I mean that's pretty much it, right? It really comes down to understanding the library of data, but there isn't an endpoint in our system that you can't hit in terms of sending info or in terms of getting information back out.
Mhm. And then this is kind of an interesting question. Is Stephanie still salesperson? So um, I don't know if you're dealing with somebody who's one of our partner representatives or someone who is, directly working for Route for Me. We have a lot of different ways that you can leverage us. I know that the folks that are on this call, Jason and I, and then Madeline as well, are the folks that we would say you would want to come to talk about this. But certainly. If you have a partner, one of our reseller partners, then talk to them because they'll help you. And so I am, right?
So, well, we are,
Salesperson.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Steph,
yeah. I mean, that's what we do, right? So we
there
we
is a
help
Steph,
sell.
there is a Stephanie route for me, so it's kind of a trick question.
Yeah,
We can all do demos, right? So it really depends on who you're connected with. If you're already connected with Stephanie, and working on the grand assumption, we're working with one name, which is just Stephanie.
yeah.
Could reach out to Stephanie. And Stephanie can arrange a demo for you, assuming it's the
Sure.
Stephanie that I know that works here at Route for Me. So yeah, we'll gladly
Yeah.
get you the right person, do a demo, take you through the platform, show you the ins, the outs, the things that make Route for Me, best in class.
There you go. Hopefully that answered your question. All right. Anybody else out there got something that you want us to touch on? Got to see done. Done. All right, got that. Email address. So, yeah, my email address, you can certainly email me and I can, point you in the direction of whoever you need, but it's just Sean, Sean, at routeforme.com. Here, I'll put that screen back up. There it is at the bottom. Feel free to send an email to me, and then, I will get it directed to whoever it needs to be, right? So if it's, someone that is affiliated with Stephanie internally, we'll get it over to Stephanie. If it's someone who is working with one of Jason's partners, I will send it to Jason. Madeline, if it's Madeline's partner, and obviously if you were working with one of my partners, then I will be happy to take care of you myself. All right. So it looks like we have all the questions answered so far. We'll do a last call for any other questions that might need to be addressed. Okay. So I guess that's it. All right. So if you do have another question, and you just didn't want to ask it on the call, please, reach out to us directly. Again, my email address is Sean, Sean, at routeforme.com. And I hope that the information today was beneficial to you. Again, if you have additional questions, or you want to just explore, last mile transportation functionality and how it applies to your business, please, reach out to me. Again, I will, redirect that as appropriate, or handle it if you're one of my partners, customers, or one of my partners in general. We'll be sure to get back to you and follow up just as soon as possible. Couple of notes. If you happen to be attending the Geotab Connect in Orlando this month, please stop by our booth, right? We'd love to say hi. We'd love to answer any questions you may have, and even show you how the solution works. So we'll have laptops there and be able to show that off. If you're not going to connect, we will be at other events throughout the year, right? So please, connect with us. Jason and I, and Madeline, we're all on LinkedIn. So please reach out to us, connect with us on LinkedIn. And then, certainly connect with the company on LinkedIn, and that way you can be aware of where we are, because we like to share that, and we want to meet you in person at some point in time. And the name of the event in Orlando is Connect. It's Geotab Connect. So it's for the Geotab ecosystem. But we partner with a lot of different telematics platforms. So again, we'll be at different events throughout the year as well. And we're gonna make we're gonna have a video and everything put together. This presentation, you asked about the PowerPoint. Download the definitive guide for last mile transportation. You'll have all the information that was shared in here, as well as the information that Jason's going to be sharing in a couple of months.
Yeah, and
So
Stephanie specifically, reach out to Madeline, and Madeline will be able to help you with that. That will
yeah,
not be a
there you go. Thank you, Jason. All right, folks. I think that's it for today. So we thank you for your time, and we hope that you have a little better than perfect day. Y'all take care.